Hello and welcome to the Tigrepup channel. In this video, I'll be doing a continuation of the review of the Docolor 19-piece BASTET brush set. If this topic interests you, then please keep watching. Okay, I'm going to be showing you a picture of what video I did previous. If you want to check that out, please do. It's basically about an unboxing and what type of brushes you're getting in this set. Right here is the Amazon page, what you're going to see when you go on Amazon. Right here is the custom reviews, 86% out of 100, I guess. People enjoyed the brushes, so it has pretty good reviews. Right here are not so favorable reviews that I came across while I was making a decision whether or not I wanted to order these brushes, which I eventually did, which is why I'm doing this video. And at the end of the video, I'm going to give you my opinion about these reviews, whether or not I think they're true or not, or false. So please stick around to check that out. Okay, so right here I'm just showing you the totality of all the brushes that come in this particular set. As you can see, it's quite a few, and I'm going to be using my sponge here and there in order to make this foundation situation work. I'm going to go in and I'm going to try to show you every brush that I'm using, and at the very end I'm going to give you a review as far as like what I think about the brushes and whether or not all of the reviews that were mentioned previous are true. But I do remember that using this foundation brush, it was pretty good. I liked it. So the foundation brush is good. Okay, so up next I'm going to go in with my concealer. And I'm going to use my sponge to try to blend everything out. And I'm eventually going to do my, my contour as well. So you can check that out. Okay, so now that we've got our contouring down and packed, we're going to go in with my foundation brush, the one that I previously used, and use that to blend out that contour to make sure everything is nice and uniform and nothing seems out of place. So that's what you see me doing here. Like I said, I'm thoroughly enjoying this brush. I liked it pretty much. I liked it, and yeah, we're going to continue on with our foundation brush set review. Okay, so now we're on to our next brush, and I'm going to use that to finish contouring my nose. I don't do the top portion of my nose because I feel like it's entirely too narrow. However, the bottom portion is pretty wide, so I decided to contour that with my cream contour, or should I say I'm using a foundation as a contour. And I'm going to use that powder brush in order to set that that contour, highlight, foundation, all that good stuff, just to lightly set it because I have a lot of stuff else I have to do with this look. Okay, so up next I'm going with my eyes. Right now I'm going to be applying my base to my eyes so that I can get this eyeshadow on and popping. So using that brush, and going to make sure I get the nice and evenly applied. I still ended up using my fingers. I wish they would have had like a little stamping brush. I don't know what it's called, but that's what I normally use in order to make sure that I pat the stuff for my eyes, the concealer for my eyes, instead of just using my finger, which I'm eventually going to have to use. But that's one brush that I I would have liked to have had in this brush set. So I'm going to go ahead and use a powder and try to set that concealer, and we're going to get into starting to blend out our eyeshadow. Okay, so I'm going in with that powder brush again, and I'm going to use my bronzer in order to bronze the perimeter of my face to add warmth, so it's not just one monotone complexion throughout. So that's what you see me doing here. Yes, this brush is very lightly packed, which means it's very soft, diffused look that I'm getting here, and I'm not complaining because I like to build my my eyeshadow looks. Now this particular contour brush, I'm going to use that to use on my contouring and stuff like that. I believe it's entirely too big for my face. It totally overwhelms my cheek, and I would prefer to have used this as a smaller brush for more precise blending. Honestly, it was just going all over the place. I didn't too much care for that. I didn't mind it for the bronzer because I mean that can go and be everywhere, but the contour, I needed it to be a little bit more precise. So the brush, in my opinion, was a little bit too big. Okay, so right here I'm using this little shader brush to contour my nose. I'm not going all the way up to the top because honestly I don't need it. It's entirely too narrow at the top, entirely too wide at the base. So that's what you see me doing here. Okay, so right here I'm just using my sponge to slightly bake my highlighted areas. Just a reminder, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks. Okay, so right here I'm just showing you I'm going to be using my gel eyeliner from Maybelline in brown, and these are the tools that I'm going to be using to blend out my eyeshadow. I didn't want to do anything entirely too extravagant with this particular look. Very natural, soft blended thing that I was trying to go for. As you can see, I'm using my gel liner as a base, and I'm going to apply that to my lids, and I'm going to drive that slightly higher than my crease because I have hooded eyes, and I didn't want to have it just on my lids and then it vanishes when I open my eyes. So that's what you see me doing here. So I would have liked the packing brush, but these are the options that come in this particular brush set. Okay, so as you can see here, I'm using the same base in order to do the lower lash line because I want a nice smoky look. So that's what you see me doing here. Okay, so I'm going to use the darkest of the duo here, and I'm going to use that to set my lids and underneath my eyes, my lower lash line, and then I'm going to use the lighter of the duo to blend out the darkness of the color I just mentioned. So I'm just going to pack that color on, and eventually I'm going to blend all of that out with the lighter of the shades to make it nice and softly blended. Okay, so now I'm using that other brush. I believe this is like a pencil brush. I believe that's what it's called. And I'm using the lighter of the two shades in the duo to softly blend out the harshness line of the previous color that I used. So that's what you see me doing here. And I like this particular brush very well because it does a very good job. Okay, so now I'm going to use this fluffy blending brush, and I'm going to use that to softly blend my crease area out so that everything is nice and blended and there's no harsh lines and stuff like that. And I also found this to be a very useful brush, so I like this as well. Okay, so up next I'm going to be doing my brows. As you can see, I'm gonna use the angle brush here, and I'm gonna use that to shade in my brows and extend them, because in order to make mine even, I had to chop off a piece off either side and whatnot. So this brush was very good. I enjoyed this as well. As you can see, I'm just shading in my brows so I can get my nice shape going on. And up next, I'm going to take that same brush, angle brush, and I'm going to use that to set my brows, because like I said, I used a gel eyeliner in order to use it, because I couldn't find a brow pencil or anything that I like that gave me enough coverage. But that's what you see me doing here. Okay, so up next, I'm going to brush out that brow. I had to use a different tool that wasn't in the collection, as you can see there. So I wish they would have added that. Right here, I'm going to clean up, and this is another brush that I had to use. Yeah, I mean, this is a pretty good brush. I wish it was a little bit wider, but yeah, that's what I had to do. So up next, I'm going to do the top portion of my brows with my foundation, and the bottom I did with concealer, to make sure everything looks nice and neat. Just a reminder, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks. Okay, up next, I'm going to set my highlighted area just below my brows and try to blend out the eyeshadow that's on my lids, to make sure there's no harsh lines and it's evenly dispersed throughout. Okay, as we can see here, I'm doing the very same thing I did at the top in my crease. Above my crease, I'm doing it at the bottom to make sure everything is nicely blended. Okay, so I'm going back in with this this contour brush, a huge contour brush, and I'm going to use that to apply my blush. I'm using a blush that isn't very pigmented on my particular complexion, and to make sure I don't go too clownish with it, because like I said, I didn't want a very harsh look. But as you can see, I had to dip a couple of times in order to get enough pigmentation on my complexion. So whatever you think of that. Whatever you make of that. Okay, so right now I'm just lining my lips, because we're going to use the lip brush in order to apply lipstick, as I did here. And then I'm going to go in with that concealer brush, I believe, in order to clean up around my mouth, to clean up any mistakes I had, and use a brush. I believe that's the highlighting brush, in order to set around my where I applied that foundation. And so I'm using the angled brush here, because I felt like my eyes could have used a little bit more depth, and I set that with eyeshadow brush, and I just kept working on it until I got the desired pigmentation that that I wanted, in order for my eyes to have like a smoky effect, because it was looking a little bit too basic in my opinion. So yeah, that's what you see me doing here. Okay, so back into the eyeshadow, I'm going to smoke out all of those harsh lines that I made. That's what you see me doing here, to make sure everything is smoothly blended and there's no awkward harsh lines. So okay, still working on that smoke here, as you can see here, and making sure everything is nicely blended. All right, so now we're going to put on a couple of coats of mascara, which brings to mind there's no comb and brush, dual-ended comb and brush in order to do your lashes and brows. So that's one thing that I began to realize that was missing in this particular brush set. Okay, so at this point I realized I could have used a little bit more highlight, even though I had a highlight. I'm using this particular brush because that brush that they had specified for a highlight, I didn't feel like it was giving me enough pigmentation. So I'm going in with this particular brush to kind of like give it more punch, I guess you can say. And yeah, that's what you see me doing here. Okay, so right here I'm going in with the fan brush, and yeah, I mean it wasn't bad at all. You just need a very pigmented highlighter, and it worked pretty good. And I'm using a different brush from a different set in order to highlight the inner portion of my eyes. Okay, so up next I'm going to show you the finished look. As we can see here, everything is nicely blended and I believe in order. Yeah, so I'm going to give you my opinion in a few, but first we're going to address the reviews that I witnessed online. Okay, right here I'm just showing you what the website looks like if you were to order this brush set. Again, to remind you of the 4.8 out of 5 great reviews, 5-star reviews, 86% of people agreed. Okay, on to our first review, which is 1 star. I felt they were full and soft, therefore lacked control. I thought they were pretty. The brushes were just soft and full, lacking control when applying. Okay, I'd have to agree that the brushes were full and soft. I'm not sure if that makes it make you to have a lack of control, but I was pretty satisfied with that because I had tried brushes from Wet n Wild, and when I tell you those brushes were so coarse, it was scratching up on your eyes. I would prefer my brushes to be soft, honestly. Okay, so another person says, too soft for me. These are extremely soft brushes, and for me it's too soft. I need a little more firmness. Beautiful brushes and packaging. Okay, I don't think I have very much problem with the softness of the brushes because someone's saying it again. I'm a builder. I like to start off slow and build my pigmentation up. So these were perfect in my opinion. So I mean, for those who prefer a little bit more, then I don't think these brushes would do for you. But yes, they do not pack on a lot of color, foundation, whatever in one swipe. Okay, so right here somebody says to clean the brushes before you begin using them, and she gave them 3 stars. Her name is Shauna, so that's why I said she. I wash my brushes, all my brushes, before I begin using them, so I didn't really notice any smell or anything like that. So that's my opinion on that. Okay, on to our next review. This lady gave them 3 stars, but she says no comments. Received my order quick and it was very excited to get them, and when I opened them I'm missing 5 brushes. Really disappointed about that. I don't even think they deserve 3 stars if they're gonna miss 5 brushes, but I didn't have any problem when I made my order. Basically I'm saying that I got all my brushes and I counted them after I saw this review, and I got all 19 the first time around. Okay, so another person says 4 stars, decent for the cost. I was very impressed by the look and feel of the brushes. For the cost of them, they are pretty decent brushes. Could you get better? Sure, at triple the price. They wash well. The packaging was delightful. Only real negative is the fan brush is not the best. Okay, so I'm going to have to agree that this was a pretty good brush set for the price. As far as the fan brush is concerned, I like the fan brush. So there's that. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and tell you some of the things I didn't like about this brush set. So I'm going to go ahead and get that started. Okay, so it didn't have the the comb brush duo when you do your eyebrows. I don't know what that thing is called, but I didn't like the fact that they didn't have that. I had to use it from a different palette. Also, when you do your inner corner highlighter and stuff like that, they didn't have a brush for that. I would have to have used like a lip brush or something. Maybe that would have worked better. Okay, and next, that the contour brush was entirely too big. Like that was ridiculous. I didn't like that. Next was that highlighting brush, that funny looking long brush. It was entirely too soft, and I didn't like the way it was shaped, and it didn't add very much product in my opinion, so I didn't even bother to use it. Okay, and so finally, I actually enjoyed the fan brush, but I felt it was kind of small. You couldn't use it for a contour or a bronzer brush, only a highlighter brush, so it didn't have a multi-purpose thing to it, so I didn't too much like that, but I still like the brush, so I'm keeping it. Okay, I didn't want this video to go into overtime as far as it did, but I believe I want to show you me actually using the brushes, so it kind of took up a lot of time. So hopefully this helped help you make a decision on whether or not you want to purchase this particular brush set. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Okay, so overall I would give this particular brush set an 8 out of 10 as far as like my rating. So it's pretty much up and up with the reviews online, which is 86%, because more so I'm happy with my purchase than I am unhappy with it. So there's that. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, thanks for watching.